Vanessa Bryant, the widow of Kobe Bryant, was pregnant.
It's no longer just a rumor. There's now hard evidence. A leaked medical report has surfaced, and the most shocking part is the name on it, an NBA player with a history involving Vanessa Bryant.
But Kobe, in your mind, as you see things, did Karl Malone make a pass at your wife?
This story keeps getting wilder. Let me put you up to speed. The leaked reports. It's the kind of headline that stops you mid-scroll. A medical report claiming to confirm Vanessa Bryant is pregnant. Leaked. No press release, no carefully staged Instagram announcement, just a confidential document somehow making its way into the hands of internet gossip pages. And now, the whispers have exploded into a full-blown firestorm, dredging up 25 years of messy history, heartbreak, and scandal that the Bryant name has never quite escaped. If you think this is just another baseless celebrity rumor, think again. This isn't just about a woman's private medical file finding its way online. It's about power, money, betrayal, and the ugly truths people thought were buried with Kobe Bryant. And the most shocking part, the deeper you dig into this so-called pregnancy leak, the more it starts looking like someone wanted this out there. We'll get into the exact contents of that alleged medical report later, and why certain names keep surfacing in connection to it. But first, you need to understand the battlefield Vanessa's been walking on since the late 90s. Because when you see the pattern, you realize this leak is not random. For anyone who's forgotten, Vanessa Bryant's life story has been tabloid gold since she was a teenager. And not because she chased fame, but because the moment she met Kobe Bryant, the world decided she was fair game. Think back to 1999. Kobe, a 21-year-old NBA phenom, already a household name with the Los Angeles Lakers. Vanessa, a 17-year-old high school senior, working as a background dancer on a music video set. The age difference alone, and the fact she was still a minor, triggered whispers. Critics pointed to the obvious power imbalance. A global sports superstar dating someone who still had homework to turn in. Her stepfather, Stephen Lane, even told the Los Angeles Times that year he was an adult and she was only 17. And it was like, hey, wait a minute. 6 months later, Kobe proposed with a 7-carat diamond ring. They married in April 2001. Him, 22, her, freshly 18. No prenup. And guess who didn't show up at the wedding? Kobe's parents, Joe and Pam Bryant, who were so opposed to the marriage that they stayed away entirely. Their reasons? Sources say they cited her age, her Latina background, and the speed of the relationship, sparking a rift that would last for decades. That wedding wasn't just the start of a marriage. It was the start of an ongoing war. Because from the moment she became Mrs. Bryant, Vanessa found herself not only fighting for respect inside the Bryant family, but also against a sports media culture that painted her as the outsider, the gold digger, the homewrecker, depending on the day. By 2003, the fairy tale was already fractured, not from outside rumors, but from Kobe himself. That summer, he was arrested in Eagle, Colorado, and charged with sexually assaulting a 19-year-old hotel employee. He admitted to having what he called a consensual encounter, but denied assault. Standing next to Vanessa in a televised press conference, he confessed to adultery and apologized directly to her.
She's backbone. You're a blessing. You're a beat in my heart. You're the air I breathe. And you're the strongest person I know. And I'm so sorry. Having to put you through this, having to put our family through this.
The case was dropped in 2004 when the accuser declined to testify, but the damage was done. Kobe's endorsements tanked, his reputation nosedived, and Vanessa, just 21 years old, was left to publicly defend her husband while privately coping with betrayal. She later revealed she suffered a miscarriage during that time, which she attributed to the stress of the trial. That's the part people forget. This was never just one scandal. Cheating rumors followed Kobe for the rest of his life. Some were small whispers, others hit like grenades. One of the most bizarre flashpoints came in 2004, when Lakers teammate Karl Malone was accused of making inappropriate comments to Vanessa during a game. According to multiple reports and direct accounts from Kobe's agent Rob Pelinka, Vanessa was courtside during a Lakers game when Malone, dressed in cowboy attire, allegedly told her he was hunting for young Mexican girls. Vanessa, who is of Mexican descent, was offended and told Kobe on the drive home. Kobe immediately called Malone, demanding to know what he was thinking, and told him to stay away from my wife.
But Kobe, in your mind, as you see things, did Karl Malone make a pass at your wife?
You know what? I know what took place. I know what I feel like took place. Those surrounding the situation knows. We all know what happened in the situation, And, but other than that, it's just water under the bridge.
Malone denied hitting on her, claimed it was a joke, and later called the whole thing a Hollywood soap opera. But for Vanessa, the incident wasn't about jokes, it was about respect. She confronted not only Malone, but also his wife, Kay, that same night. It ended Malone's relationship with the Lakers and his friendship with Kobe. And for Vanessa, it cemented a public perception. This is a woman who will not quietly absorb disrespect even from powerful men inside the NBA circle. Through it all, Vanessa stood in front of cameras, smiled for the paparazzi, and played the role of the loyal wife. But inside, the trust was fraying. By 2011, it snapped. That December, Vanessa filed for divorce in Orange County Superior Court, citing irreconcilable differences. TMZ reported she discovered Kobe had cheated with multiple women over the years, and that another high-profile affair had just come to light. She sought joint custody of their daughters, Natalia and Gianna, and with no prenup, potentially half of Kobe's fortune. At the time, he was worth an estimated $150–300 million. Her timing was strategic. In California, after 10 years of marriage, spousal support is often indefinite. They just passed their 10th anniversary. Divorce attorneys and gossip writers alike called it the move of a lifetime, walking away with not just mansions and cars, but an ongoing slice of Kobe's empire. But then, she didn't walk away. In 2013, the couple announced they'd reconciled. Vanessa posted on Instagram, "We are pleased to announce that we have reconciled. Our divorce action will be dismissed." Kobe echoed her, crediting therapy and family commitment. From then on, they crafted the image of a power couple reborn. They welcomed 2 more daughters, Bianca in 2016 and Capri in 2019. And by Kobe's retirement, the public image was one of stability. But behind the scenes, not everything was healed. The rift with Kobe's parents, for example, only widened over time. And this is where the current drama starts to make more sense. Because when Kobe died in 2020, along with their daughter Gianna, Vanessa wasn't just left to raise 3 daughters alone. She inherited control of his entire estate, worth an estimated $600 million. That didn't sit well with everyone, especially his estranged parents. In fact, just last year, Joe and Pam Bryant auctioned off Kobe's 2000 championship ring for nearly $1 million. Fans were outraged, but the underlying tension was clear. They weren't getting a dime from Vanessa. That's when voices like Dr. Umar Johnson started getting louder, calling her out publicly.
But let's take it a step further, Art. Kobe's mother. Kobe's mother is still walking. She's still with us. Vanessa Bryant, are you going to take care of Kobe's mom? Kobe's gone. His father's gone. What about his mom? You owe it to them, and you owe it to him to take care of his parents.
So now, fast forward to mid-2025. Into this already volatile mix drops a supposed medical report claiming Vanessa, at 43, is pregnant. And not by Kobe, obviously, but by a much younger NBA player. The gossip machine didn't just run with it, it sprinted. Some blogs named Boston Celtics star Jaylen Brown as the possible father, based on little more than a few edited photos and speculative TikToks, debunking here. Others pushed an even wilder theory, that the leak was orchestrated by someone in Kobe's family to smear her. Vanessa's only public response was the now famous Rihanna meme, captioned, "Me protecting my peace, not pregnant and having fun all summer." She didn't dignify the medical report itself with a direct denial, and that silence is what's kept the story alive. Because here's the thing, whether this leak is authentic or completely fabricated, the timing is suspicious. It dropped just weeks after renewed family drama over Kobe's legacy, just days after tabloid coverage of her sitting courtside at the Olympics with Kevin Durant, and right as a legal dispute involving one of her former staffers was heating up. Coincidence or calculated hit job? Either way, one fact is inescapable. Vanessa Bryant has been here before. Every time a scandal has threatened to drown her, she's surfaced with her head high, her narrative intact, and more often than not, her bank account bigger than before. The real question now is whether this latest leak is just noise, or the start of something designed to finally knock her off balance. So what exactly is in that alleged medical report? How did it supposedly get leaked? And why does the name of one NBA player keeps coming up again and again? Who leaked the report? When the rumor first hit, it was just that, a rumor, a headline on an obscure gossip blog claiming a confidential medical report from a high-end Los Angeles clinic had surfaced. But then screenshots started spreading, blurry, cropped, with just enough visible to set the internet on fire. The supposed document bore Vanessa Bryant's full legal name, a date, the logo of one of LA's most exclusive OBGYN practices, and one line in particular that made people gasp: estimated gestational age 12 weeks. The leak included a probable due date, lab codes for prenatal testing, and even notes about patient privacy requests, high profile. One field was redacted, the father's name section, but that didn't stop the speculation machine. And here's where the first red flag pops up. If this were truly a legitimate medical record, leaking it wouldn't just be unethical, it would be a direct violation of HIPAA, the federal law protecting patient health information. We're talking about a federal offense that can lead to $250,000 fines and prison time. That means if this document is authentic, the person who leaked it either didn't care about the consequences or was banking on not being caught. So who would do do that. Let's run through the suspects. The first one is a rogue clinic employee. This is the most straightforward theory. Someone with direct access to her medical file printed or photographed it. In celebrity cases, it's happened before. Britney Spears, Farrah Fawcett, and even George Clooney have been victims of similar leaks from hospital staff. The problem? High-profile clinics have intense security protocols. Employees are trained to spot VIP files, and access is heavily restricted. The second possibility is a family insider. Remember, Vanessa's world is split. Close allies on one side, strained relatives on the other. After Kobe's death, Sophia accused Vanessa of evicting her from a family home and repossessing her car. Vanessa clapped back, calling the claims beyond hurtful and accusing her mother of trying to extort a financial windfall. Sophia eventually sued for alleged unpaid wages as a nanny and personal assistant, claiming she worked for the family for 18 years without compensation. The suit was settled privately in 2021. Since Kobe's death, the tension with his parents has only gotten worse. In 2024, they auctioned his championship ring for $927,000, prompting fans to accuse them of disrespect. Around the same time, activists like Dr. Umar Johnson were openly questioning whether she'd take care of Kobe's mom. If a family member wanted to damage her reputation, especially in the court of public opinion, leaking something like this would be devastating. The third possibility is that it's set up for a bigger story. This is where things get messy. A rumor like this primes the public, gets them invested, so that when the follow-up drops, it lands harder. If the pregnancy is tied to a specific man, especially someone famous, that's not just a scandal, it's a multi-week media circus. And the name that's being whispered the loudest, Boston Celtics star Jaylen Brown. Why Brown? Some fans claim to have spotted them in the same VIP row at the Paris 2024 Olympics women's basketball semifinal. There's no photographic evidence of them interacting, but social media doesn't care about details. It cares about a good story. Within hours of the medical report screenshots dropping, TikTok compilations were proving they were secretly dating. Brown hasn't said a word. Vanessa hasn't named names, but the absence of denial about him specifically is what's fueling the speculation. And here's where the hypocrisy comes in. When Kobe was alive and repeatedly accused of infidelity, the narrative was boys will be boys. It's just part of NBA culture. But now, 5 years after his death, Vanessa is being painted as a betrayer for even possibly dating again, let alone having a child. That's why the leak is so strategic. Whether real or fake, it weaponizes public double standards against her, and we can't ignore the timing. This report surfaces when people are revisiting the lawsuit filed by Vanessa and Kobe's former housekeeper. The 2009 wrongful termination lawsuit filed by Maria Jimenez, the former housekeeper, accused Vanessa of verbal abuse, humiliating tasks, and withholding promised health benefits. The most infamous detail, allegedly making Jimenez retrieve a price tag from a blouse by hand out of a bag of dog feces.
Vanessa forced her to put her hand in a pile of dog poop to take out a price tag for a blouse that she ruined by putting in the washer.
The Bryants denied the claims, countersued for breach of confidentiality, and eventually settled out of court in 2010, but the damage was done. Even though Vanessa was never found guilty of any wrongdoing, the story solidified a tabloid image of her as controlling, demanding, and quick to anger, the kind of figure who could be villainized at the drop of a headline. The claims paint her as cold, entitled, and out of touch. Drop a pregnancy scandal on top of that, and suddenly the narrative isn't grieving widow defending her reputation. It's spoiled celebrity who's moved on from her late husband and mistreats those around her. If you're starting to think this feels coordinated, you're not alone. Some online sleuths have even pulled up old rumors, like the 2011 Victor Ortiz dating claim.
The main man who took Kobe's girl for a while back in the day. You know what? Low profile, that's crazy, dude. Somebody said that, man.
Ortiz went on record to deny it.
I would never do something like that, man. 1, 2, I didn't even know his wife. We never even been under the same roof, but I've never, ever in a million years, and I put that on my kids, on my 2 baby boys, whom I love very much, and their mother, and my boxing career. I have never, ever touched someone by the name of Vanessa Bryant.
Or whispers about friendships with Pau Gasol and Rob Pelinka to argue that Vanessa has always been hiding something. These are the same recycled stories that pop up whenever she trends, giving the illusion of a long documented history of scandal. But here's the wildest part of the alleged leak. The version making the rounds includes an annotation, a handwritten note in the margin that says she's finally getting her karma. That's not standard clinic paperwork. That's personal, and it suggests whoever leaked it wasn't just looking to profit. They wanted to humiliate her. And that brings us to the important question. What if this leak isn't just a hit on Vanessa Bryant, but a proxy war over Kobe Bryant's legacy, his his money, and his memory. Because when you start tracing the threads, every path leads back to one thing: control. Control of the narrative, control of the estate, and control over who gets to define what moving on looks like. And if this is a proxy war, then the pregnancy story is just the opening shot. The truth behind the leak. Follow the money. It's the oldest investigative rule for a reason. And in Vanessa Bryant's case, that trail doesn't just lead to her bank account, it winds through the very heart of the Kobe Bryant estate, a $600 million legacy wrapped in lawsuits, estranged relatives, and unresolved grudges. When Kobe died in January 2020, Vanessa inherited everything: his properties, his businesses, his trademarks, his stake in companies like Body Armor, which later sold to Coca-Cola for $5.6 billion, netting the estate a fortune. To the public, it looked like the ultimate romantic ending, the devoted wife becoming the steward of her husband's empire. But to some inside Kobe's circle, especially those already frozen out, it looked like the locks had just been changed permanently. And here's where the chessboard starts to light up. Suspect 1, the estranged parents. Joe and Pam Bryant's feud with Vanessa goes back over 2 decades, from boycotting the wedding in 2001 to the 2013 memorabilia lawsuit where Kobe accused them of trying to auction his things without permission, to the post-death ring auction in 2024 that netted nearly $1 million. Every public move has dripped with resentment. Dr. Umar Johnson said it bluntly.
Vanessa Bryant, are you going to take care of Kobe's mom? Kobe's gone. His father's gone. What about his mom?
In his framing, Vanessa isn't just a widow. She's a gatekeeper blocking Kobe's own parents from the wealth their son generated. If you buy into that framing, the alleged pregnancy leak could serve a purpose: tarnish her reputation, question her loyalty to Kobe's memory, and sway public opinion just enough to build pressure for a legal challenge over the estate. Suspect 2, the opportunist within the circle. Sometimes the danger isn't from enemies, it's from the people you think are allies. Vanessa's inner circle is small, but not airtight. A trusted assistant, a longtime friend, a family helper, any of them could have access to her private schedules, medical visits, and conversations. And if someone close wanted out or wanted leverage, a leak like this would be nuclear-level leverage. It's not without precedent. In 2025, her former housekeeper filed a lawsuit accusing her of verbal abuse and outrageous demands, including retrieving items from dog feces. The allegations painted her as controlling, cold, and entitled. Imagine that case in front of a jury after weeks of headlines about her secret pregnancy with a much younger man. Credibility gone. Suspect 3, the NBA media machine. Here's a theory people don't want to touch. What if this isn't personal at all? What if it's business? The NBA thrives on storylines. The more dramatic, the more polarizing, the more clicks and jersey sales. A scandal tying together a Lakers legend's widow and a current Celtic star. That's a marketing goldmine. And in the era of social media engagement farming, seeding a story through gossip blogs and influencers before it hits the mainstream is practically standard operating procedure. Remember, in 2003, when Kobe was fighting sexual assault charges, the NBA's media footprint exploded. His court dates were the story, overshadowing the season itself. And now, 22 years later, the league's eyes are on a new generation. But the formula hasn't changed. Controversy sells. And then there's the bombshell theory. The annotation on the leaked report, she's finally getting her karma, is handwriting that, according to one online sleuth, matches a signature from a 2013 court filing in the Kobe memorabilia lawsuit. That filing, signed by someone connected to Kobe's parents. Is it a stretch? Absolutely. But is it enough to feed an army of Reddit detectives and TikTok conspiracy accounts for months? Without question. Here's why this matters. If the handwriting connection gains traction, it shifts the story from mystery leak to family revenge. That's a narrative that could blow up far beyond Vanessa, forcing her to address years of unresolved conflict in public, or risk letting the court of public opinion fill in the blanks. And make no mistake, public opinion matters here. Not just for her brand, not just for her foundation, but for her control over Kobe's legacy. If the narrative turns against her hard enough, it opens the door for legal challenges, PR nightmares, and corporate partners quietly stepping back. This is the proxy war in full view. On one side, Vanessa Bryant, the woman who's outlasted 2 decades of scandals, stood beside Kobe at his lowest and carried his name through tragedy. On the other, an undefined coalition of critics, opportunists, and maybe even family, all with their own reasons to see her stumble. And this leak is the perfect weapon. It hits her image, it drags her private life into the mud, it reopens old wounds about fidelity and loyalty, and it forces her to either break her silence or let the speculation run wild. As we sit here, there's no official confirmation on whether the medical report is authentic. No charges filed for a privacy violation, no named suspects, just a flurry of posts, videos, and think pieces dissecting her every move while the actual truth remains buried. But maybe that's the point, because in this kind of game, the truth is almost irrelevant. What matters is the perception, the clicks, the hashtags, the shifting tides of public sympathy. And if history is any guide, Vanessa Bryant won't just survive this. She might even find a way to flip it, because love her or hate her, one One thing has been true for 25 years. Vanessa Bryant does not go down quietly. Whether this pregnancy leak is a cruel fabrication or a messy truth, one fact is certain. It's not the end of the story. It's the beginning of a new chapter in the long, complicated, and ruthlessly public saga of Vanessa Bryant. And as the next moves play out in courtrooms, on Instagram, and in the shadows, one question will hang over everything. Is this about a baby or about the last piece of Kobe Bryant no one's been able to take from her? If you enjoyed watching this video, click on one of the boxes playing on your screen to watch more similar content.